social media platforms, on YouTube, Capital TV, on Facebook, Capital Television Tanzania, on Sunday at 9:15 p.m. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification. In Capital News tonight, presidential candidates continue with election campaigns in various regions of the country. Zanzibar Electoral Commission approved 15 regional international monitoring organizations to observe the general election. And in sports, Taifa Stars coach has revealed he faces difficulties in selecting players for the Burundi friendly. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Vanessa Victor. Let's start things off with the national news. CCM Party's presidential candidate Dr. John Magufuli at a campaign rally in Mbeya said that if his party is re-elected, his government will make Mbeya region the economic gateway in the southern highland zones.
Katika kipindi cha miaka mitano inayokuja kama tutachaguliwa tumepanga kufanya nini?
In the coming 5-year period, if we get elected, what have we planned to do according to the instructions found in the election manifesto book through the ruling CCM party with 303 pages? It instructs us, and this is what I shall instruct.
Nilikuwa na washauri tu kwamba wangepinga kwanza ile elimu bure ili watoto wao wanapokwenda shuleni wasisomeshwe bure, walipie kwa sababu ni watoto wa wapinzani.
Civic United Front CUF Party presidential candidate Professor Ibrahim Lipumba said that if he enters into office, he will fix the education system and improve teachers' interests. The teachers are responsible for building productive individuals in society who can develop the country's economy.
Shinyanga hii ukimwambia mwanao jitahidi kusoma uwe kama mwalimu wako, anaweza kukueleza balaa gani.
Today in Shinyanga, if you encourage your child to study and become like your teacher, he will tell you what disaster are you speaking about. The teacher is in a bad state, wearing second-hand clothes. To forget, some succumb to drink from very early in the morning. We need teachers who are disciplined, well paid, and live in good accommodation.
Chama cha Demokrasia na Maendeleo Chadema Party's presidential candidate Tundu Lissu has completed the second round of his election campaigns, which he began on September 11th this year in Kibaha and Bagamoyo District Coast Region by asking for votes from residents of Kilimanjaro region.
If you're accused of anything for any reason by anyone allowed to complain regarding election campaign matters, the one that the complaint is against, you are supposed to be given a written copy of the complaint. So if they say Lissu is to go before a disciplinary committee, they must first bring me a written copy of the complaint. But since they have started to speak about this, I've not seen a copy of any letter blaming me on matters concerning the election campaign. If you have not received a copy, how can you defend yourself against something you're not aware of?
Chama cha Mapinduzi CCM Zanzibar presidential candidate Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi has continued with his campaigns in Pemba and met various groups of people where he pledged to ensure rights of widows by creating a law that will protect their interests.
We will empower you with capital, implements, markets and training. In empowering, one is in implements, and the second area is on training in what you do. In 2018, we reached 8,277 tons, and this is very little clothes, given the world average production. So we must move from here.
Zanzibar Electoral Commission, ZEC, has approved 15 regional and international institutions to monitor the general elections in Zanzibar, with the chairman of the commission, retired Judge Hamid Mahmoud, urging local and international institutions to follow election laws in the Isles.
Women and youth participation in democracy-related issues, as well as in other areas promoting democracy and good governance. 35 were selected. These met requirements to be observers in the election. Zanzibar Electoral Commission has received 15 institutions that have shown an interest to come and observe on this election.
Decision in case number 09/2016 by the East Africa Court of Justice, dismissing the case opposing the conditions and agreements of the union between Tanganyika and Zanzibar. The Chief Government Prosecutor's Office has said that the court has clearly laid out to the world the authenticity of the United Republic.
Kwa muktadha huo, iwe ndani ya taifa letu la Tanzania, iwe ni ndani ya East Africa, iwe ni ndani ya Afrika, lakini vile vile na kimataifa, swala la uwepo wa uhalali wa taifa la Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania uko very clear, na ningeomba kwamba kwenye jambo hili ionekane kwamba limehitimishwa kisheria kwa kupitia maamuzi haya, na tuendelee kufanya nini? Kufanya kazi.
The police force in Njombe region is taken to Njombe Resident Magistrate Court. 4 accused charged with the murder of the former chairman of CCM University's youth wing in Iringa and Njombe region, Emmanuel Mlelwa. Those accused of the murder include Tadei Mwanyika, aged 31, resident of Kambarage, Njombe Urban; George Asanga, aged 31, Goodluck Mfuse, aged 38, a resident of Njombe Urban; and Optatus Nkwera, aged 31, a resident of Ramadhani Ward in Njombe. The accused have been returned to remand custody pending further investigation.
Upelelezi unaohusisha teknolojia. Msisite kwenda kwenye mikutano, nendeni kwenye mikutano ya kampeni kama kawaida na mjisikie huru kabisa, na kama mnaona kuna sintofahamu ya aina yoyote, mikutano hiyo inalindwa.
Tanzania has been mentioned as the second country in Africa with the largest number of livestock, with 33.4 million cows in September this year, producing 3.01 billion liters of milk. This was said by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Livestock, Elisante Ole Gabriel, when commemorating National Milk Consumption Day in schools held in Moshi, Kilimanjaro region.
Na mimi niendelee kutoa wito kwa Tanzania kwamba tuendelee kunywa maziwa vizuri.
I urge Tanzanians to drink a lot of milk because we are producing more milk, more than 3.01 billion, and we have more than 99 industries. What is most important is to improve on the amount of milk consumed, because World Food Programme requires us to drink 200 liters, but we are consuming 54 liters only.
Siku ya unywaji wa maziwa mashuleni, kauli mbiu ikiwa
Our motto is a glass a day for good education and health. Today is a very important day to all young people.
That is all for the national news. International news is next. And now in international news. Kenya National Union of Nurses Secretary General Seth Panyako has urged workers from Kenyatta National Hospital who were on a go-slow to return to work. Speaking during a press briefing on Wednesday, Panyako said the decision to halt the strike had been informed by court order issued by the Labour Court on Tuesday.
Sasa hiyo inamaanisha kwamba the struggle will continue. Na tunajua walicheza mchezo ya paka na panya, wakaenda kotini, waka-influence, wakapata judgment ati their advice is mandatory.
The Ministry of International Cooperation in Burundi says it plans to improve relations with Western nations, including the United Nations, which had deteriorated since 2015 due to political turmoil in the country.
Some of the areas we will address include improving the relationship between Burundi and other nations, especially the nations that have imposed restrictions on Burundi. The European Union, Burundi and the European Union will sit together and have a discussion on how restrictions could be removed as soon as possible.
And this week in our international report, we go to Germany, which is celebrating the 30th anniversary of reunification on the 3rd October 1990, nearly 1 year after the fall of the Berlin Wall. East and West Germany became one single German state. It was a key development in Europe for the end of the Cold War. In the following piece, Thomas Sparrow from our partners, Deutsche Welle, explained what reunification meant and continues to mean for the German people.
There are few places in Berlin that represent more what the division of Germany meant for common Germans than this building right behind us, the so-called Palace of Tears. It was a border crossing between East and West at Friedrichstraße, one of the busiest streets in central Berlin. This place can...
And that special report ends our international news. We'll be back with business news after this short break.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and now in business news. Cargo transporters have expressed concern on continued long queues of trucks at Namanga one-stop border post, saying if the situation continues unabated, it will have negative impact on economic growth in member countries of the East African community.
Kuna vitu ambazo KEBS na Namanga hawawezi wakafanya mpaka wapeleke Nairobi.
There are things that cannot be done without being taken to Nairobi. Why can't the government bring the service down in Nairobi to Namanga? The aim of the government in investing in this center is so as to address such problems, and we promise to find solutions to the problems.
Energy and Water Regulatory Authority, EWURA, has called on electrical technicians in the country to adhere to legal procedures in order to avoid fire disasters, particularly now that the government is geared towards increasing construction of industries.
There is no other institution issuing a license to connect electricity in buildings except EWURA, so this must be taken into consideration. You could have someone who is unprofessional come to connect your building with electricity, and later on you find electricity consumption is higher than usual. EWURA must communicate with TANESCO so as to control unlicensed workers.
And researchers from Tanzania Agricultural Research Institute at Naliendele Center in Twara Tari has said that regions from Central Zone which have started growing cashew nuts have shown indications of producing high-quality yields as required by the global market.
What is surprising is you find some of the farmers produce good cashew nuts which will be accepted across the world. I'm so grateful I've been trained on how to take care of my cashew nut trees so I get good yield.
That is all for the business news. Sports is next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Opposition, Joaquinho, he did lose to Lynn.
And now in sports news. Tanzanian coach Etienne Ndairagije has revealed he will face tough decisions in selecting foreign players for the friendly against Burundi. Here's the story.
On Tuesday, the Tanzania Football Federation confirmed the Taifa Stars will host Burundi in an international friendly game on October 11th and went further to reveal the national team squad will be named on October 2nd, ahead of the match set to be played at Benjamin Mkapa Stadium. The two teams are preparing for the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers in November and will use the game to coach their players. Taifa Stars coach Ndairagije had now admitted he will find it hard to pick players who trade outside the country, as he has not seen their recent performances due to effects caused by the coronavirus pandemic.
And a financial crunch has reportedly hit the Council of East and Central Africa Football Association (CECAFA) Secretariat in Nairobi. Here is more on this.
According to well-placed sources at the regional football body, a number of staff members have gone for 6 months without pay and without a logical explanation from the management. Those affected include the competition manager, head of protocol office manager, messenger, and head of information systems. Worse, the body has not organized any competition this year, a far cry to last year when 5 competitions were staged, including the Kagame Cup in Rwanda, where Uganda's Kampala Capital City Authority triumphed, and the Senior Challenge Cup in Kampala, in which the hosts won.
Jose Mourinho said that Frank Lampard looked sad and quiet in his chair when Chelsea were 3-0 down to West Brom on Sunday, and offered his former players some advice about touchline etiquette after Tottenham reached the quarter-finals of the Carabao Cup by beating their London rivals on penalties.
Chelsea, who excited after Mason Mount missed the decisive penalty, were leading through a Timo Werner strike when Mourinho and Lampard clashed on the touchline at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham's manager taunted his opposite number, noting that he did not see him supporting his players when they were behind during the 3-3 draw with West Brom. Mourinho, who sped down the tunnel to check on Eric Dyer after the defender went on for a toilet break during the second half, later said he was sorry to see Lampard looking glum and told Chelsea's manager he should be more circumspect when his team is winning.
Michael Schumacher's son Mick will take part in his first Formula One race weekend at Eifel Grand Prix in Germany next week.
The 21-year-old will drive in the first practice session for Alfa Romeo, and Britain's Colm Ilott will also make his Formula One debut during practice for Haas. Both drivers are members of the Ferrari Academy. The test at the Nürburgring carries significance. Alfa Romeo are to all intents and purposes Ferrari's junior squad, and Haas are a customer team very closely attached to the Scuderia. Neither team has concluded a new contract with any of their drivers for next year.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. My name is Vanessa Victor. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.